Good evening, this is News Mongolia. I'm Sadlan in the MNB World studio. For our top stories, COVID-19, 287 confirmed cases, 8 additional deaths reported. Mongolia, United Arab Emirates, Business Forum held in Dubai. Mongolia elected as a member of the IPDC Intergovernmental Council. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health reported that 287 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed today, and 8 people have died.
The Ministry of Health today on November 22nd has reported that 287 new COVID-19 cases were detected in the past 24 hours after tests were carried out at PCR laboratories across the country. Unfortunately, 8 patients, 4 women and 4 men, all with underlying health conditions, died of COVID-19 complications. All new cases are of domestic transmission, 197 out of which were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar, and the remaining 90 were confirmed in the provinces. 8,365 COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals nationwide. Additionally, 16,663 patients are being treated at home. Among the 8,365 COVID-19 patients being treated at hospitals nationwide, 3,185 are showing mild symptoms of illness and 187 are in critical condition. Currently in Mongolia, over 2.25 million people have received their first COVID-19 vaccine dose nationwide, and over 2.14 million have received a second dose of vaccine.
The Mongolia United Arab Emirates Business Forum took place on November 17, 2021, as part of Expo 2020 Dubai, a global expo being held in Dubai. The forum was co-organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, the National Development Agency, Mongolian National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the Federation of United Arab Emirates Chambers of Commerce and Industry to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and the United Arab Emirates. Member of Parliament Bolhan Toya also noted that cooperation between the countries is mostly taking place in the electricity, environmental, healthcare, and education sectors, and stressed the importance of strengthening cooperation and the joint commitment of business enterprises for the expansion of trade and economic relations. The director of the Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, Ulsisachen, presented opportunities for investment in Mongolia and major projects and programs that could improve economic cooperation and the business environment. 70 entities from Mongolia and the United Arab Emirates attended the event and exchanged views on prospects for cooperation. Dubai is one of the largest centers of business, banking, finance, and logistics in the world. A large number of transnational corporations operate in Dubai. Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
The report calls for commitment, communication, and action as part of a comprehensive approach for promoting good mental health for every child, protecting vulnerable children, and caring for children facing the greatest challenges. Elected to serve as a member of the Intergovernmental Council of the UNESCO International Program on Development of Communication. Naren Jargal, chairwoman of the Mongolian National Committee on IPDC, will represent Mongolia on the Council from 2021 through 2025. The IPTC, an intergovernmental body that works to promote the development of mass media in developing countries, was created by the UNESCO General Conference in 1980. Naren Jargal is a veteran journalist, a president of Globe International, an NGO that promotes the significance of the freedom of the press.
The COVID-19 pandemic has raised concerns about children's mental health, but the pandemic may just be uncovering the tip of a mental health iceberg that we have ignored for far too long. UNICEF's State of the World's Children 2021 report examines child, adolescent, and caregiver mental health. It focuses on risks and protective factors at critical moments in the course of life and delves into the social determinants that shape mental health and well-being.
The report calls for commitment, communication, and action as part of a comprehensive approach for promoting good mental health for every child, protecting vulnerable children, and caring for children facing the greatest challenges. According to the State of World's Children 2021, UNICEF's most comprehensive look at the mental health of children, adolescents, and caregivers in the 21st century. Even before COVID-19, children and young people carried the burden of mental health conditions without significant investment in addressing them. According to the latest available estimates globally, more than 1 in 7 adolescents aged 10 to 19 is estimated to live with a diagnosed mental disorder. Almost 46,000 adolescents die from suicide each year, with suicide being among the top 5 causes of death for their age group. Meanwhile, wide gaps persist between mental health needs and mental health funding. The report finds that globally about 2% of government health budgets are allocated to mental health spending. The latest data from UNICEF shows that Mongolia has an adolescent suicide rate that is 5 times higher than the average in the East Asia and Pacific region. Suicide as the cause of death among adolescents aged 10 to 14 has increased dramatically from 3.3% in 2003 to 11.4% in 2019. In 2018, 30.5% of adolescents experienced emotional and behavioral problems, and 9% of them were dealing with emotional and behavioral disorders. There is limited availability of quality, adolescent-friendly mental health and psychological counseling services to meet the increasing demand for such services from children and their families. Moreover, there is a need to support the education system in building transferable skills in adolescents to help make them less vulnerable to mental health risks. Another issue is that 82% of children in Mongolia have access to the internet, and the most popular social media platform is Facebook, with 85% of children stating that they have one or more accounts. According to a recent survey, 90% of the children surveyed said that they had access to inappropriate content online. Children fall back on self-help in the face of significant cultural impediments to reporting issues to their parents in the form of shame, fear, and the traditional disregard of children's voice and agency. As a result, 60 to 70% of the sexual images or content they are exposed to goes unreported. According to data from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there were about 4,300 child sexual abuse and exploitation materials that were traded or shared in Mongolia. Currently, Mongolia has no strong legal framework for enforcing the obligations of internet service providers to report the transmission of illegal materials.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Here is the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.